As you remember, in the previous video we agreed that shutter speed does not affect the brightness of the model's face illuminated by the flash. But there are some exceptions, and today we are going to cover one of them. Most of modern DSLR cameras have a focal plane shutter. Their work is simple. There are two curtains covering the sensor. At the moment when you make a shot, the first curtain opens, allowing the light to pass through the slit to the sensor. After some time, exposure time, the second curtain closes. Modern shutters do it quickly, but unfortunately nobody yet is able to make a perfect shutter that would instantly open and instantly close. Therefore, the following trick is used to achieve the fast shutter speeds. Before the first curtain opens fully, the second is already beginning to close. This way, the light is coming from each piece of the frame for lesser time and exposure reduces. In other words, the slit is formed between the curtains of the shutter, and if it becomes narrow, the shutter speed becomes faster. When you are using the flash, this slit becomes a problem. If shutters have a long shutter speed, there is a phase of the full opening, during which the flash can illuminate the entire frame. But if the shutter speed is fast, when the flash fires at the time when part of the frame is closed, the shadow spoils the picture. The shortest shutter speed at which the shutter completely opens the window is called sync speed with flash, or X-sync shutter speed. In modern cameras, it is usually 1/200th of a second. The exact value can be found in the camera's manual. But what to do if for some reason when shooting with flash you still need a fast shutter speed? Many modern flashes have a special mode called high-speed sync. It turns the flash into a source of continuous light. Instead of a single pulse, the flash makes a lot of pulses. Less powerful because the accumulated charge has to be stretched all the time. Our eyes do not usually see this set of pulses, and from the side it looks like a regular flash, but in fact it has a longer time. This time is enough to highlight each portion of the frame, the same way as it happens when shooting in continuous light. For clarity, we give a practical example. Today we choose a more complex shooting conditions compared to the last time. Both face and background are lit brightly enough by the light that penetrates through the clouds. First, we make a photo without a flash, with the settings that you see on the screen. It's mostly okay, but we wanted to change the light on the face a little bit, and we decided to highlight the face by the flash. That has not yet caused problems. Then we wanted to blur the background, but by opening the aperture to a value of 1.4, we will make the photo too bright and will have to reduce the shutter speed. But then, as you probably already have guessed, the shutter speed becomes shorter than the X-sync, and it means that the shadow of shutters will be visible on the picture. In this case, the high-speed sync mode is useful. It was enough to turn on it in the flash menu, and he would take a shot at 1/400th of a second shutter speed. Note that as soon as you turn on this mode, the flash immediately becomes less bright by a couple of steps because its charge is spent on the set of pulses. That is why we had to increase the flash output. In fact, high-speed sync flash mode turns into a continuous light, and consequently, reducing the shutter speed will now change the brightness of the face illuminated by the flash. Do you remember our table from the previous video? Now we have lost a way to adjust only one setting to change the brightness of the background independently of the brightness of the face. And in order to, for example, only darken the background, we now need to do this in 2 steps instead of 1. The first step to reduce the brightness of the entire picture by shutter speed, aperture or sensitivity. The second step, increase flash output. Less convenient but bearable. However, in practice, the unpleasant fact is that the flash output is not unlimited, and we'll discuss it with you in the next video. And do not forget that the shutter speed affects the contrast of the light on the face. In today's example, it is very important because the face is lightened with a natural light almost as much as the background, and with an increase of the shutter speed it will be difficult to the flash to compete in brightness with natural light. In other words, you cannot do the very light background and the high contrast lightened face at the same time. Next time we will make a portrait with a small depth of field on a sunny day.